today we got to play Excavation Earth.
Excavation Earth.
Yeah, I got close.
Well, if it's exclamation, it'd be exclamation Earth!
Anyway, so it's about a alien race coming down to Earth and excavating different things that from the human past. So
humans have been wiped out. The Earth is...
They're gone.
Yeah, the Earth is
non-inhabited.
Yeah. So before we dig into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can see other games that we're going to go through. Rob, tell us some more about this particular game.
So this is a new game, came out this year in 2021. It plays 1 to 4 people. The Board Game Geek rating is 7.5. The designers are David Turtzi, Gordon Kaleha, and Y Yi. Art is by Philip Cruz, and the MSRP is $55 for the base game. I also got the expansion called Second Wave, and that's $30.
Okay, cool. All right, so going into quality of pieces, you have screen printed player. I don't want to call them meeples because they're more like different shapes with screen printed stuff on them.
They're different shaped meeples.
Uh-huh.
They're still meeples.
Sure, they're something. Okay,
It's pretty.
they are very pretty. Card quality, there's no linen finish,
But it's
but
super
it's
thick.
So they're gonna last a bit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice. So even tactilely, they don't feel great. They're gonna last. So
You also have basic wooden meeples, too. They have the ones for the buyers
Yes.
that are
Yeah.
smaller, standard
but they're
meeple
all
size.
different shaped.
Mhm.
So for each of the colors, they're shaped differently. So for those that are colorblind, it won't be an issue because the shape's different.
Right.
So that's absolutely great. Then also you got wooden cubes that are in an inlay player board, as well as pretty thick cardboard scoring points, as well as artifact tiles in the game. So overall, I think the quality for this game is very, very functional. There's a lot of very nice components in there. So overall, I would probably give this 7.5 or 8. What are you guys thinking?
I'm 8.5 because
Okay.
I thought you brought up a really good point. I didn't really think about it, but now that I looked at it, this is very colorblind friendly because it's just not the shape of the meeples.
The cards aren't.
But-
No,
Well,
the symbol.
they are because they got the
The
symbols.
symbols don't match the color.
Oh, you're right.
So the cloud is the only differentiating, and that's going to be tough.
That's a
So
little
yeah, I
too
didn't
loose.
think about that either.
So yeah, I can't say that it's colorblind friendly because that's a major issue.
Unless the colors are not the traditional ones that most people.
Because
like.
it's not.
Well, there's different formats.
Oh
I
no,
know
you're
that.
red, orange, and yellow. That's going to be disastrous.
Other than that, there's a lot of iconography, which is kind of a complaint too. But I mean, other than that, really, there's a lot of symbology that you could use to help guide you through the game. So I like that a lot. The art, I mean, granted that's theme, but I think they did a really good job on the board, the pieces. I'm an 8.5. I like it.
Okay, what about you?
I'm probably more of a 7.5. I first of all, I don't like the victory point tokens or the money or whatever you want to call them.
Because it's cardboard.
Well, that, but also they didn't give you enough of them. I mean, we had to keep
were
making
fighting
change
over
over the whole course of the game, over and over and over again. And there's just they're okay, but they're not great, but they needed more of them. The player boards are really cool, being inlaid and everything. That's nice, although it's not inlaid at the top. They could have done that. I don't understand why they did it at the bottom, but they didn't do the top.
Well, probably because your cubes aren't going to move a whole lot, whereas these will. They're going in and out all the time.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's a personal preference there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all there right about it. 7.5
Yeah.
to 8.5 is about where this lies for quality pieces. So moving on to theme, I didn't get heavy on theme. I mean, it's there, it's present, the art's nice. But as far as do I feel like I'm an alien excavating things? No, not really.
No, I don't either, but I think the art more than compensates in some regards. The art on the player boards are really nice. The art on the main board is really nice.
But it's not a lot. They keep repeating the art.
I
so
agree.
there's not a lot of art. I mean, it is good, but I don't think the theme was very heavy, nor do I think that there was a lot of art. But what there was good.
I will say that I like the fact that the artifacts were various things that are common in some cases that you might find
Right.
around here. Like there was film reels and there's street signs and different things that these aliens are curating and selling for profit, which is pretty cool. I like that. I like it's a sci-fi theme. I like the sci-fi theme. I like the art, like you said. I like the player board and the alien races are really cool looking. But yeah, it's just basically a pick up and deliver almost.
Almost.
And as far as you could have any kind of widget.
I think it's a lot more complicated pickup and delivery.
Yeah, it's not a standard traditional one, but you're going around gathering things from a location and taking them somewhere else to sell them. So it's your concept is basically a pick up and deliver concept. But I mean that's what good into that in the gameplay. But as far as I think it's got a theme that's fun. I can't say it's real heavy in theme, but I'd probably give it about 7.5 as well.
Okay, what's your score?
I think I was either doing 7.5 or an 8. I really like the art, so it just really clicks with me. So I think I'll go an 8.
I think I'll go 7.5. All right, so moving on to rules. Okay, guys, I don't read the rules, but this cheat sheet is garbage. Okay, and I say that with love and affection because this is hieroglyphics, but for aliens.
This is an almost useless cheat sheet.
Because it's just very hard to decipher it. So it'd be a lot better if they would have just wrote it out.
Yeah.
Well, and by the time you understood it, you knew the action, so why did it matter?
Right.
Yeah, we did much better just having the rulebook there and flipping between there's 4 pages of the data. It's on 2 pages front to back. So just the detail that you needed to take your actions. I kept the book. We referenced it every time we took our turns almost. That sheet was of no use whatsoever.
Yeah, the iconography was really, really rough to understand, and that is just not good.
At least they have one.
At least they have one. Okay, we'll go with that one. So this was practically useless. So even though they had one, I guess I'll give it a 6 because there is one, and that's better than Catan.
If you take this out of the picture, the rulebook was pretty good. It was pretty clear. I don't think there was really any confusion in this game that we ran into as far as how the actions worked. It was just we didn't really fully understand the value in some of the actions until we actually started playing.
And to be honest too, I did watch a couple video reviews, and I think that with that and you reading it kind of helped us understand it too, because I clarified a couple points. You went back into the rule book and saw that it did say that, and so it kind of helped me understand it a little bit better.
All right, so what'd you score it?
I didn't score it because I didn't really read the rules.
What'd you score it?
I'm going to give him a 7. I mean, the rule book itself, I probably would have given an 8. This is bringing it down because it would be nice to have had a cheat sheet that actually was functional.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to keep using the rule book, but this was useless.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to gameplay. So this is a more advanced pickup delivery game. So basically, you move throughout the board. So you get 2 actions every turn until all of your cards are played. So your cards are really the number of actions that you can play throughout the turn. Or out throughout the round. So in your turn, you have 2 actions. So you can play 2 cards to do certain things. So you have your basic generic movement cards, which has these fuel cells, and that's how many movement that you can make. And then there are the other cards. So in the other cards, you'll notice that there is color, an icon, and fuel cells. So you can use these other cards as movement. You use them as based on the fuel cells. But also this icon is very important when you go to place traders on different locations, and then the color is important for excavation purposes. The other things you can do, like I mentioned before, is excavate. So throughout the board, there's going to be these little rune tiles that are going to have different colors as well as little icons in the corner. There is a set collection to this, which is on your player board that you can use a cube to fill in the icon and the color. And if you complete rows or columns, you get special benefits and victory points. So by excavating, you can spend a card of that color to pick up to 2, depending on if you're at the appropriate locations for that. Picking up 2. The next one is the market. So if you are at the market locations on the board, you can opt to spin the icon of that, just the icon. It doesn't matter about the color. You spin that icon, and then you get to place one of your player cubes onto the board, and then you get to opt to put merchants on that space to sell. And you want to match the colors with the tiles that you have, because that way you can sell them for more money. Because obviously the more merchants that want your merchandise, the more that they are worth. And increases your popularity to also increase bonuses and things like that. Then you can actually sell your goods. You just get rid of any card of your choice, and you can sell based on if you have cubes at those locations. Up to three. And then can you explain the command? I never used it.
So there's a
or
couple.
The smuggle.
There's a couple of different ways of utilizing commands. So one command feature is being able to take a cube and go up to the command ship, and there's 3 different sections based off of the iconography of the markets, basically. So what that allows you to do is there's end of round income, and so if you have majority, you get a certain amount of money. But there's also on rounds 2 and 3, there's cards that give you like a power up by doing the other command actions, removing a cube off of your command ship and doing that. Round 2 is a white level card, and it's pretty cool. But then round 3, it powers up, so it's a more powerful version of that same card.
Yeah, and then there's anytime you sell your buyers, the buyers and the cubes that you have that you're selling, your merchants will go up to their, because they get promoted to envoys. So that's another way to get them into the ship, mothership they call it.
Yeah,
it's the storing ship.
And once your cubes are placed, unless you do some specific actions, for the most part they're stuck.
Yeah,
and so you have to be very cognizant of what actions you're doing and where you put those cubes, because you only have 21 cubes.
Yeah, they're a finite number, and that is very limiting because you're wanting to score on your board with you trying to line up rows and columns with filling them up, but then you're also wanting to have the majorities in the section on the envoy,
right?
And they're competing for resources. So it is, it's a balance, and if you don't get the right cards, you can't remove them.
Right.
Yeah. So the next one is the smuggle action. So the smuggle is at the black market action.
Yes.
So basically, again, just like you have merchant areas, you also have the black market areas on the board. And if you go there, you can choose to discard a card of the same symbol. So black markets have 2 symbols instead of 1 versus the other merchant areas. So you discard a card with that symbol, and then you get to choose to buy up to 2 of the top of the pile. So you can't dig through the pile. It has to be the one on the top.
They have to be 2 different.
And they have to be from 2 different piles, and you have to pay the value cost that's on them from your victory points.
Plus one.
Plus 1. So it can get pretty costly if you want some of those rarer ones.
But the benefit of doing that is because, like Randy said, you get to, when you sell, you get to move cubes. You do the same thing for the black market, so it can kind of help you fill in your board if that's one of the strategies you're doing. And that's something I started doing. I didn't do it early enough. I think maybe if I focused more on that strategy, I might have come a little bit closer to winning the game.
Yeah. And then the next one is survey, which you're going to take one of your cards, replace it with a...
So it's a card from your hand, and you're replacing the card on the board.
Yeah, so there's cards. There's 4 or 5, is it 5 cards?
It's 5 cards based off the number of players.
Yeah, so there's cards over here next to the draw pile, and that's going to feed up to what's coming back up on the board. So basically you replace it. So, hey, I want more blue next round, so I'm going to replace it with a purple. And I'm going to discard this purple because I don't really need purple anymore. And then you're going to place a cube on it. And then you're going to pick up
the lowest number.
The lowest number of 2.
No. The lowest turn order number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this will allow you to decide what's coming up for the
per turn
order for the next round.
Okay.
And then you get to pick 2 tiles. You draw 2 tiles
right.
from the color card that you traded.
Yes.
Yes.
And put one on the board, and one
one
gets buried at the bottom of the black market.
So I don't think we really did it a whole lot. I did try it a little bit, but there could be some strategy in that survey where you're really trying to manipulate what tiles are coming out the next round.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't, for me, there was no direct advantage. It was setting yourself up for later, but anyone could take advantage of that. And that was some of the problem that I had is the player interaction, Randy, screwing me over.
You can really set yourself up to try and make a big sell, and then Jerkface over there will come in and just totally change it around to his favor and make a bunch of money.
That's
Not
the
once,
reason we
not
have
twice,
the yellow
not
cards.
3 times, okay?
Well, that's the reason there's the yellow cards, because they give you powerful abilities. And the one that we had allowed you to, when you removed a cube, you were able to then redistribute
move the buyers
around. So I had no other choice to pay because
no other choice.
Yeah, he couldn't have done any other action.
the only thing I could do, because all my cubes were empty, I had no cubes left.
Right.
I had to remove them from there,
and
then you get the option of putting it on as a merchant. So I took it off, put it on as a merchant, and then used my other card to sell.
And totally screwed us all over.
I redistributed all the buyers into my cube.
So here's my thing. I was really enjoying this game because I liked the trying to get the resources and trading
and trying to do your thing
and trying to do my thing until I realized how screw your opponent you could possibly be, and that makes me really nervous because if we had more than one Randy, I don't know if I can handle this game.
I'm surprised your dad didn't figure out a way to screw us over because he usually tries to do that more than win the game.
Yeah. So I mean, So this game I found interesting until I realized how messed up this could end up being, and I'm not sure I'm down for that every day. But so some of the things I did like about it, I did like the fact that it is a pick-up delivery game, but there's more to it. So there's some strategy involved that you don't typically see in some of those pick-up delivery games that I kind of enjoyed. The point strategy was very different. It wasn't necessarily about picking them up and selling them. There was a little bit that, but it's also about scarcity, rarity, you know, making sure you have the highest piles, but also this
because we really didn't talk about the popularity board, which I don't know if you can see that, but that popularity board will give you some big bonuses if you sell. And so it makes a big difference.
It really does. And so like I was able to sell like one item, and because it was the highest scarcity, gave me +9, right? So even though I was only making 4 off of that particular action, 4 + 9, that's 13. Hey, it's something when I was scrounging, Randy. And so it helped me get somewhere. But at the same time, when I fully sold 3 different units, like maxed it out, I was able to get 30 some odd because I hit all the different bonuses. So that was really, really nice.
And one thing we can feel good about is we didn't go out of our way to try and screw other people over, and we came pretty close in points.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think
I didn't go out of my way to screw it over.
No,
it was
you totally
just conveniently given to me that I could screw you guys over.
Oh, okay.
Well, first of all, you all put your stuff all in the same location for me, so it was easy for me to pick them up from there and move them to where I was.
Whatever.
So that was very convenient.
So let's give it a score.
I think Board Game Geek got it right. I think that 7.5 is a good score. I'm going to go just up a little bit higher because I really enjoyed it and had a good time. I want to give it an 8.
I'm more on line with Board Game Geek. I'm thinking 7.5 for me. What about you?
I was probably at 7.5 until I got to screw you guys over, and now I'm probably at an 8. Because I mean, I didn't think there was enough player interaction in it until that point, and then I'm like, okay. Then when I started seeing what you could do using the abilities of the powers, I was like, oh, okay. Well, there's more to this than I was seeing. Because my biggest complaint about it was it didn't feel like there were a lot of paths to victory. You could get points from this. You could get points from the envoy. Those are the only 2 really scoring points. Well, selling, but it was like basically that's it. But
I'm okay with that.
But it just felt the samey after a while, and then till the end, and that's
but it's
when
only
I started
3
seeing
rounds.
It
is only 3
it's
rounds.
not,
It is a short-ish game.
Yeah, I mean it plays out a little longer because you have to think about your plays, and how to maximize your cards.
Over and you
have to tell me about it.
And I like games where you draft. That was good. I mean, there's not a lot of difference between the cards, but there is some advantage for having certain icons and certain colors that are.
Well, I got hurt in round 2 because almost all the cards that I had were really only a couple of different spots, and I really couldn't move out and do other actions as far as the market and getting my getting traders out there because I didn't have the cards to do it.
Well, that's what happened to me in the final round. I had 2 colors. My hands were 2 suited, but and I was limited by that. But then I was also only 3 icons among them, so I had to do what I could with those icons.
Right.
I had to figure out what was the maximum way to do it. And I enjoyed the fact that you could make those decisions and still come out not losing. You wouldn't be just completely hosed by a draw.
Yeah. So overall, I think it is a pretty decent game, and I'm glad we got to play it. So hey, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.